Kaspa has been tested and respected, so let's discuss it in today's video. Hey guys, Foxy is Trading here, back with another crypto video for you guys, and we are back talking about Kaspa. Now, a lot of things have been mentioned on Kaspa on Twitter, so let's kind of go over it and see what they are saying, okay? So when I said they were tested and respected, I am referring to this. A 150 million stress test just slammed the Kaspa network and it didn't even flinch. Okay. And I think the reason that they did this and showed this off is to show people that their network is strong amidst all of the network outages, power outages that we have been seeing in recent times, right? I am going to be a broken record on this matter about Kaspa's technology being very, very strong, and they are showing it and really proving it every single week, week in, week out, right? More transactions per second, more stress tests, more this, more that. They are constantly doing things to show people that in every aspect of their project, of their technology, it is growing, right? More nodes, hitting 1,000 public nodes. Everything is for the future to show strength in the project. Now, what else do we have? Because there is a lot, right? They talk about more speed towards slower miners. What else do they say, right? Proof of work, fair launched, boring checklist, paying your barber without a layer 2 is the punchline. Because this guy was saying, are there any other proof of work decentralized? Yup, Kaspa, right? So they have been really going after the community and collaborating with the community about good things and bad things. And I've said this 2 weeks ago when the Kaspa Twitter admin was tweeting some crazy, like seriously crazy things. And now they are kind of back tweeting about it again, retweeting people's tweets, whether if it's a good thing, they're agreeing, right? Solidifying it even more. And if it's a bad thing, they are going against them, explaining what's wrong with it. And I like this and I don't like it because I like it because it shows the community that there is strength behind the project, that they are confident in the project. But where it looks bad is more for an institutional look, for a partnership look. If they are tweeting crazy things, they might not get the partnerships that they are looking for. So maybe just tone it down a little bit on the tweets and some of the terminology and words that are used. Because I personally, as a holder and investor in Kaspa, would like to see some partnerships, some real world utility very, very soon. And maybe a company doesn't want to partner with Kaspa if Kaspa is tweeting attacks at another project, right? So I do like what they're doing and I don't like what they're doing. So just chill a little bit and we are going to go very, very high up in a good direction during altcoin season. VProgs turned the blockDAG from fast payments into programmable settlement engine. See, this is what I like. But then they do synchronous composability without roll-up spaghetti. It's not adding up. It's going from professional company to child play word on word terminology. It doesn't make any sense, right? They talk about more speed, about the blockDAGs, the security. Honestly, too many things to even go about. Scalability, right? Starting from early 2010, scalability. I've talked about Kaspa scalability is very, very good. And they have tweeted so many things. Like I said before, 941 public nodes. They are hoping for 1,000 by the end of the year. I think we're going to get it. When we do get it, I'm going to make an update video on you guys. Maybe they're going to attach something for 1,000, maybe a community giveaway, something cool to see. All right, well, that's pretty much it. There are so many tweets. If you want, you can check it out. Look what they are replying to, debating, all of that good stuff. I'm not going to go tweet by tweet because we'll be here forever. So looking at CoinMarketCap before we head onto the charts, we are up in price, up in market cap, down in volume. Okay. 89% bullish on the community sentiment. I feel like we have gone up. And we are on all the biggest exchanges, pretty much still waiting for a few, mainly Binance. Okay, so pulling up the charts now. What do we have? Well, let's do a breakdown once again. We have our weekly fair value gap right over here, and we have this weekly fair value gap right over here. Price did not get to the fair value gap, and it did not sweep liquidity. Instead, we pushed upwards. Okay, so we pushed upwards. Now let's see what we are getting, right? So we know that we have this. This is our weekly fair value gap, right? The purple zone. We got to the purple zone and price respected it for all of these days, did not want to close above to give us a push to the upside. So now we are respecting it and we are trading within the zone. Where could price go to next? Well, I would want to see a closure above and a push to the upside because we are starting to change structure, right? So we had our high, we had a lower low, lower highs, pretty much equal highs, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower low, right? And now, excuse me, we have gotten a higher high from these equal highs right over here, right? Were we able to form higher highs from here? No. But we have started to shift upwards. And I know I've said this many times, one higher high does not equal a change in character. This is true. However, look at the buying pressure in these 3 days, right? In these 3 candles, it basically took out all of this selling pressure in a few days. Okay. So I think it is to nobody's surprise that we do have a lot of buying pressure at the moment. Now, what can we look for next in price? Well, like I said, I personally would want to see Kaspa consolidate maybe a day or two more, eventually grind our way to the upside, close above, which is a strong closure. My strong closure ideally would be a closure above this high. Okay, closure above that high, retest before the real push to the upside. Now we can see over here to the left, right? We did get a closure above, but we were not able to continue going up. Now, why is that? That is because we have, once again, another zone right here, a daily fair value gap. And we can tell that this daily fair value gap is of importance because it was held by 2 days before giving us a push to the downside. So if we wrap it all up, what would make sense, right? A closure above this high, a closure above our daily fair value gap, and then eventually a closure above here would indicate a massive, massive signal that we are going to start taking out all of these highs right over there. Okay. So what we want to see price to look something like this. Closure above these highs right over here, right? Closure above, retest, consolidate, or have enough buying pressure to push right through. A closure above, another retest of the zone before the real push to the upside. Now, will we get this in the month of December? It's kind of an unknown thing because the markets are so manipulated at the moment. And you probably have seen this, but on Sunday, right? Looking at Bitcoin, on a weekend evening, banks are closed, institutions are closed, trading hours are closed. And what do we get? We just get a massive manipulation to the downside, couple of thousands of dollars. They just wanted to liquidate the market, liquidate all of these, right? Take some shorts, make a bunch of money, manipulate what they need to, and then rebalance itself now. And I don't like when the market is manipulated because that means it might not necessarily follow technical structure perfectly. Now, nothing is ever perfect in the market. Price can skyrocket and we can be here tomorrow, right? That is always possible. That's why we have to adapt to the market. Now, let's see how we are looking on the weekly, right? So on the weekly, to nobody's surprise, right? We have been trending down, right? Bearish trend. And we can see that we were not able to form a higher high based off this high right over here, right? So on the weekly, if you were to look at price of Kaspa, you would think to yourself, price is still bearish because we can form, once again, a lower high and a lower low, right? So don't be surprised if price pushes further down actually. Will it? We have to see. I want to see how price trades a little bit more in this zone, how things will be moving. I want to see if price can break above this 4-hour fair value gap that we can see has been respected right now, right? And gave us a push to the downside. So I would say a closure above this 4-hour fair value gap most likely would mean we push into this area before we test our next zone. Okay. So that is how I am looking at the market right now. Let's look at RSI on the daily and on the weekly, see if it tells us anything. So on the daily, we are oversold or overbought, I should say, my apologies. And on the weekly, we have got to equilibrium, which is pretty much the middle of the line. So on the daily, it could make sense for us to recover a little bit and then push to the upside. Now there is zones here, right? And zones here. They have not been tested yet, so we don't know if they are strong zones or not. But that's why we have to keep an eye on price and what it is doing. So as of right now, I would say to hold off on any investments, on any purchases, see how market is moving, wait for confirmation here for a buy or an investment up, or simply wait for a lower discounted price down in this area. This is no man's land, and I would advise not to buy here because we don't know where price will go, right? And you can see when we go on CoinMarketCap, people are also not buying because they don't buy in an area that is uncertain. They will be buying in places that make sense. So if you guys enjoyed this recap of Kaspa, make sure you like the video up, comment any questions, concerns, Kaspa to the moon. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. It really does mean a lot to me. Make sure you guys do your own research because I'm not a financial advisor, and I'll see everybody in the next video.